Bangkok and some other provinces from. Well, the first
night,
day
8
of
p.m.
curfew was on Wednesday. I think it was on Wednesday, May 20th, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday, I think.
Yeah, but I think on Wednesday.
I don't remember.
And then it was on from 8 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And then 3 days later, and the next
the following 3 days, yeah.
It was from 9 p.m. to 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right, which today will be the last of those days.
Today is Saturday.
I don't know. Will tonight there be a curfew, or was
right?
last night the last night?
I thought it said it went till Sunday, but I'm not sure.
Well, I think that means
that
5 a.m. Sunday is when it ends.
Oh, I see.
But I
Okay.
could be wrong.
Okay.
My impression was today was the last day. So your impression was yesterday.
I'll tell you,
Tomorrow.
at 10 o'clock tonight, go for a walk.
Well, it's like it's okay. There's a little bit of confusion. It's like you said though. Wednesday night was the first night. Then they announced the next 3 nights. So I think it would be Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. But
Right.
Okay.
I guess we'll see. If 7-Eleven closes at 6 o'clock tonight, then
to go home. It was weird though. It was very eerie and weird. I mean, Bangkok
Quiet, right?
is 24 hours. Go.
Especially in Yawarat.
Yeah, and I looked on my balcony and I thought I was in a I Am Legend with Will Smith. There was nothing.
One of the vampire zombie creatures gonna come out.
Well, hopefully not soon. That'll be just worse. But there was no cars, there was no motorcycles, no food carts, no sound. Like I looked out on my balcony and the loudest thing I could hear was the air conditioning units on my building. It was really, really weird.
Yeah, I think in my sleepy little neighborhood, the only thing I saw that you would have known directly that something was out of the ordinary was that the stores, the 7-Eleven and the Tesco Lotus Express and everything in my neighborhood all closed early and are still closing early these nights. So the first night of the curfew there was a little bit of panic buying, even though we're totally out of the action. But we're just walking in there. There's the restaurant owner's like 10 bottles of cooking oil and so I mean that is a little bit to be expected. But they didn't even sell out. They closed before they were sold out. So. Yeah. I mean, that was just really the only thing that seemed to directly affect that specific area. So.
But I think it's, for the most part, calmed down. And coming here this morning, it was business as usual. I think traffic was a little bit worse than usual because of the SkyTrain is still closed. And the MRT is closed today, isn't it?
Still closed.
At first they said it was open, but now it's closed today. I think it will open tomorrow. But
yeah, I think they both open tomorrow, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, but life continues. People have work to do. People have to eat. They have to cook. They have to do things. They have to see people.
Yeah.
And I think 95% of Bangkok is just continues.
Just to put a frame of reference, we say tomorrow, that's Sunday, May 23rd.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. On my own experience, we went through Foodland supermarkets around here. People were there trying to stocking it up, but it's still there. I mean, no, it was not that everything was empty. All the shelves were stocked up. They were there. There were things there that you can buy.
Yeah.
And it was not all empty, so it was not as bad as I thought it would be.
No.
And that's.
Well, I mean, it's like I can't remember who said it, but somebody made the comment. It would be funny if this was on Wednesday night, the first night of the curfew. It would be funny if after all this panic buying, tomorrow the stores are just open as usual, and that's what happened. So the stores opened up and they closed early again, but it was. There was at no point where the infrastructure of commerce and everything broke down in any way.
No, and even if the stores were closed or they ran out of food, I mean, really, that's not so bad in the big scheme of things. Like I went to my market in Yawarat and I asked if they have any pork.
Yeah.
And they said no, and that was about the worst thing that's happened to me. And I'm like, oh no, pork, oh. But I mean, all things considered, going to the store and not being able to buy. A couple of cans of tuna or something, that's really not a bad thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it does at the same time, emphasize the importance of, having a little bit stocked up so you don't have to go do the panic buying. Like,
right.
When things started looking like they got bad, I did go to the store, bought, an extra pack of ramen noodles and, some tuna fish and bread and everything. But, if people are, just try to be reasonably prepared, then...
Right. I also would like to now coming to how would that affect us. As for me, just like to put in one for I experience from my work. My office we offer data network. So just for example, all post offices throughout the country, all 1,000 of them, they're on our network. So we hook them up.
Oh,
the data network.
Wow, cool.
So now, from our experience, when this started, we have a multinational company who was located in Chitlom area.
Hmm.
They shut down the whole. Not they shut down. They relocated the whole of it. They decided they don't know how long that's going to be. And you're talking like the first 3 days.
Right.
When they seize control the Lat Prasong area.
Right.
Oh, so
This is like a month ago.
Yeah.
Right. So within 3 days, I think that multinational company decided to relocate it to another part of Bangkok.
Wow.
Turned out to be a good decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They relocated right away, and but on some other companies that we service them, they quite a few suffer because they have some headquarters in that area.
Sure.
So they ask us to switch all the data or to some other branches and increase the bandwidth.
Hmm.
So that's how they affect them. And more customers are now considering a disaster recovery center. So, well, I think 8 years ago when World Trade Center crashed in the United States, most multinational companies try to impose that in overseas, including here as well.
Yeah.
And banks, for example, banks in Thailand, I think most headquarters have DR site.
Right.
But some other industries still kind of, they are considering, but they were serious, but they really don't want to put too much money into it.
Yeah.
But with this incident, that's come to play again. They are asking more and more of it. And data center co-location, that's becoming a hot cake. People want to buy that things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it affects on the business side. But for my daily life, so far, nothing much really.
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't really. It affects me on the first 3 days, but let's say tomorrow, I think. I don't know. I don't imagine I would do anything drastic because of that incident.
No, my life, my day-to-day personal life hasn't really been affected at all. I mean, that's not to say I'm not saddened to see what's happening, but in terms of me getting around and going places and doing things, I think the only really big change I noticed is that maybe the taxi fares are more expensive because we have to go the long way around to avoid certain areas. But
Well, and during particularly difficult times in different areas, the taxis are kind of risking their lives to get people places. So they were, the meter service was, it was all what's the word? Haggling. They wanted some exorbitant fee, which they probably deserved for being willing to be out and about.
And I've got a shout out to the motorcycle taxis in Bangkok, because a lot of my friends are journalists and reporters, and a lot of times they would jump on a motorcycle taxi and say, "Go here," and it was close or in the red fire zone, and they were like, "Sure, 100 baht." I mean, that was more expensive, but still, though, to ride your motorcycle into these areas, these guys were fearless or stupid.
But on this very, very example, it was up in pantip.com recommended topic because there were a couple a Thai couple who lived or need to get to access their place, which in the quite close to the red zone. And he posted in Pantip, and he was denouncing or saying bad words to the motorcycle taxi.
Oh, really?
Because they were saying they were charging, it used to be like 20 baht, they raised it up to 300 baht. And then the comments below were, look, that's live threatening a job, And then there were quite a few comments follow up. That became a recommended topic because there were two sides of the stories.
Well, that's just basic supply and demand too. I mean, as the supply totally dwindled as far as transportation, and they would be crazy to continue charging 20 baht to take you into areas where A, they're risking their life, and B, you have no other way to get there. So I mean,
I think 300 baht is a bargain.
I think that's good old free market at work, I guess. Where there one thing that isn't regulated here is the price of motorcycle taxis.
It won't be.
Oh yeah.
It won't be regulated. So that's. But then again, put things in perspective. I think deep down, everyone still think it's not finished yet.
Yeah.
What do you think? It's not over. As for now, it's over now, but it's not over.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just really too hard to call because you just have to see like what kind of plan is going to be presented and how level-headed people are going to be about balancing you know, their own interests and the sort of interests of the